Wagwan, welcome to the Greg Baker Show. I am Greg Baker. How are you all doing on this great Friday? The time is now 1:14, and I want to make sure that I want to, let you all know the traffic is crazy coming this way. Outbound, the traffic get crazy for a good 15 minutes, but after that, you got to deal with the weather. It's a little chilly. I can definitely tell you the weather is chilly because I drive in the car with no heat. My fan broke, so I can definitely give you the exact temperature how cold it is outside. It is very, very, very cold outside, but put your gloves on, put a little scarf around your neck, put a little Vaseline on your face, and you'll be straight in this cold weather today. So how you all Friday doing? It's besides the weather and we're all living. It's a great Friday. I've been looking at the news. Been give you a little bit of this. Today I'm going to talk about the two cops that got hit by the train, which is a sad tragedy. I want to get a little bit in depth into that. I also want to talk about the prison reform that Trump has something to do with. It came across his desk and he signed it. The Bears win last week. I was on the air on Wanda's B show last week, which is every Sunday at 2 o'clock. I had a great time on her show. Also want to speak on Jacquees being the king of R&B. I actually want to give a couple of. I want to give you all a couple of new R&B CDs that I checked out. I just got done listening to Dream New CD, so it was pretty good. I like Dream New mixtape. He got like 60 songs on there, but you could definitely find a couple of jewels in that CD. Also, I want to talk about. It's been 100 years plus, but lynching a Negro is now illegal. Come on, let's clap it up. Before you can lynch a Negro and you get a slap on the wrist. Now you can't play around with it no more. Whew. Man, we have made it. Come on. We made it, y'all. We made it. They just can't come to school with no noose no more. They just can't come to school talking about Negro, I'ma hang you. You can't say that. You might get assault and battery or something. Aggressive assault. You never know. Whew, feel good to live in a city where they look in the world where they look out for a Negro, man. Cause I feel good. They just can't hang a brother nowadays, man. Whew. How y'all feel about that? I don't know, man. I say it in levity, but at the same time, I mean, do we really have to pass a law like that? Do we really have to pass a law like that? Really? So it's crazy. That's one of the craziest things I want to talk about today. However, some people say, it's better late than never. But I don't know. So will it make it like if you bring a noose to school? A lot of people was doing that with the noose. They was bringing it to school as a joke. So is the noose as powerful as a gun now? Getting caught with a noose, can you get the same legal charges pressed against you as if you was caught with a gun? Oh, let's talk about it. I don't know. It's crazy though. So let's play a little music, man. It's the Greg Baker Show. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like I said, I got a great show for you all. I'm gonna play a little Cam J and FBG Duck live on the Greg Baker Show, man. It's a good day. Let's do it, y'all.
It's a good day. Today is a good day. The haters still be looking hard, but they ain't trying to find us. Today is a good day. I've been speeding, swerving traffic, and the police ain't behind us. Driving down the highway, we gon' do it my way. Meditate the highway. Trip is blessed the right way. It's a great day now, winning. Bad mama see-ta and spinning. Peso in my pants, I'ma spin it. I got bread. Pouring on the beach full of women. I got the drip water, wash away the pain. Get in the whip and we gonna fly away. You occupied by the lies that you climb, but you already alive. You should rise just to have a good day. Today is a good day. The haters still be looking hard, but they ain't trying to find us. Today is a good day. I've been speeding, swerving traffic, and the police ain't behind us. Driving down the highway, We gon' do it my way. Meditate the highway. Drippin' black on the right way. Today was a good day. Went to sleep with broken, but woke up to 400K. Life going my way. Haters mad at me, so they looking at me sideways. Got one beautiful daughter and 3 sons. The way they talk about me look like I won. Damn, look what I done. Took a slight 50 on spit that on my mom. Today is a good day. The haters be looking hard, but they ain't tryna find us. Today is a good day. I've been speeding, swerving traffic, and the police ain't behind us. Driving down the highway. We gon' do it my way. Meditate the highway. Drip and splash the right way.
Kendall P.
They call me Diddy when I'm in the city. I'm all about making a band. I'm focused on zero, my dog and my people, not worried about making a friend. I gotta hammer your head as a nail, and I feel like making a stand. Beefing with me is like holding a baby, cause I like to get out of hand. I used to be that little nigga with attitude, ready to get out of bed.
The two officers, Alvaro Mamaleo and Conrad Gary, were pursuing a suspect along the Metro railway line when they were killed.
So you saw like this police officer chasing a guy through this gangway, running down on 111, and then he went from like 111 down to the train station.
City Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson told a news conference there was no rail stop at the location where the officers were struck, and the train was probably traveling at 60 to 70 miles per hour at the time.
Shortly after 6 p.m. tonight, 2 newly appointed Chicago police officers, Officer Conrad Gary with 18 months on the job, and Officer Eduardo Marmolejo, also a 2-year veteran, responded to a shot spotter notification of gunshots in the area of 101st and Dauphine. During their investigation, both officers were struck by a passing metro train and died instantly.
The individual the policemen were pursuing was ultimately arrested, and a weapon was recovered.
Wagwan, welcome back to the Greg Baker Show. That was just a clip of a story that I got offline today about the young man, Edward Brown, who fired the gun at the train station, allegedly fired the gun at the train station and allegedly was put in a place where he has to fight a couple of cases now. So with that being said, hold on 1 second, y'all. I still got stuff playing in the background. All right, let's get back to the show. So, with that being said, the young man was actually, I know a couple people on my Facebook page that knows this young man, and it's a sad thing. Actually, when I seen the story, I'm trying to get back on track, y'all. Let me take a quick break, and I'm gonna come right back. I don't want to sound all fuss on this situation because it's a real deep situation. Talk to you all about it. So give me a quick second. I'm gonna creep in with y'all, and I'll be right back. The way you made me feel made me lust for you for real. The way you do that pose, do something to my soul, girl. Back at this ATM, withdrawing cash for you. I better leave this club before I fall in love with you. No lie, you the baddest piece about your friends. So I gotta get that ass away from them. Turn up is what I'm thinking, but can I handle it in the AM when I creep in? No lie, you the baddest piece about your friends. So I gotta get that ass away from there. Turn up is what I'm thinking, but can I handle it in the AM when I creep in? Tonight I was gonna be a good boy, but she already in my ride, put her hand on my side. Tonight I was gonna be a good boy, but I'm the end to him assault, and we halfway to my loft. Tonight I was gonna be a good boy. She's so creative, put her hands laying on my ottoman. Tonight I was gonna be a good boy, but I already called off. Shout out to the boy. No lie, no lie. You the baddest piece about your friends. So I gotta get that ass away from there. Turn up is what I'm thinking, but can I handle it in the AM when I creep in? No lie, you the baddest piece about your friends. So I gotta get that ass away from there. Turn up is what I'm thinking, but can I handle it in the AM when I creep in? But the way you make me feel made me lust for you for real. Tonight I wasn't even on that. But the way you do that thing, girl, you making me be on that. Girl, tonight I wasn't on that. But the way you make me feel make me wanna get up on that. Girl, I wasn't gonna do it. But some thoughts on the fact make me wanna get right to it. Tonight I was gonna be a good boy, but you're so damn fine, finer than wine. Wasn't even on that, but I had to stay true. No lie, no lie. You're the baddest piece of life, friend. So I gotta get that ass away from here. Turn up is what I'm thinking, but can I handle it in the AM when I creep in? No lie, you're the baddest piece about your friend. So I gotta get that ass away from here. Turn up is what I'm thinking, but can I handle it in the AM when I creep Wagwan, welcome back to the Greg Baker Show. That's Pro Baker, that's myself, a little creepy. I do a little music too. Jack of all trades, do a little this, do a little bit of that. So look, like I said earlier, man, Officer Conrad and Officer Eduardo, two officers this week, Monday, was hit by a train. They was hit by a train. Sad event, very sad event. Now, when they was hit by a train, what they did was they was actually chasing a victim they had seen from one of them. They have machines in the city now where they can track the gunshots and where they came from the sound waves. So they had got a alert from that. Actually, no one never really called. So they ran to the up the train tracks and seen the young man, and then the young man fled. Then they was walking along the train tracks, and another train was coming from the opposite direction and hit the two officers. And later on, the young man was found found around that area, and the police asked him, "Do you have something illegal on you?" And the young man said, "Yes, I have a gun that I found." And he gave them that location where he found the gun, and they took him into custody. Now, the Brown's attorney, that's the young man Eduardo. Brown's attorney said the young man said his client should never have taken the gun, but told the judge that by bringing it to the area on the tracks on the far south side, he thought he was doing something safe. Now, reading that, it's hard for me, like the gun charges and everything like that. I really think the young man is going down for that. I really think he got caught with the gun in his possession. Uh, uh, he got caught with the gun in his possession. He fired it, and we don't even have a background check on what's going on with the gun. I believe so. But one thing that he does have in his favor is the fact that he doesn't have any priors. He's a clean individual. That's one of the things he has in his favor. That he's a clean individual on that side. But also, I heard something this week where they wanted to charge the young man with the murders of the police officers too. Mm. So I think that'll be totally too far. I think if they do something of that nature, they might as well bring in the train conductor. They might as well bring in the train, talk to the train real quick for a couple of questions and anything, because anybody can be a part of that. Because the person who's driving the train, you know, why not charge him? I don't know. There's a lot of things. I mean, that whole situation is a tragedy. That whole situation is a tragedy. For this young man that have the possibility of be charged with reckless discharging of a firearm and what felony count of aggravated unlawful use of a weapon. 24, young, bad mistakes. Bad mistakes. A lot of times we got to start thinking about. I get into stuff all the time. I'm 33, and I fight to try to stay out of situations where I cannot mess up my freedom. I'm young. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. As we make mistakes, I don't think all the time prison is a way to kind of reform you and on a risk to kind of to rehabilitate you. Prison is not always the case to me in certain ways, because I look at it like, as I break down, like we was talking about prison reform, things of that nature. As we look into this young man case, he just shot the gun that he claimed that he found. He went to an area where he thought was safe, which was behind his home. Think about it this way: what if the police would have caught up to this young man? Would it be a different story? Would we be burying a young man and not two police officers? Something to think about. Maybe they would have slaughtered that little boy behind them on that train track.
Not maybe.
That you got to think about it. Edward Brown, bad situations, bad situations. We all do that sometimes, man. I hate that. But sometimes I don't know if he should go to jail. But before I take this quick break, I want to give a special shout out to Shay, Terrell, Slick. What's up? Ray, how y'all doing? How you doing, cuz? Jason Love, Chaos. What's up? Luke Ben Ali, Kim Moore, Tamu Janelle. I see you out there. Cliff, what's up? Cliff, what's up? Lawrence, what's up? Bobo, what's up? What's up? Keefin, GG, Brandon Beans, Sean, Monique, live broadcast joint, Mary Ellis, what's up, Grandma? How you doing? I love you, Grandma. Nikki, Baraka, Good Help. What's up? What's up, Cubs? What's up? Euless and Zach, all of my family down there at the station, man. I love y'all, man. I'm over here trying to do something, man. But if y'all got any comments, please comment, man. I'm over here trying to hold some stuff together, man. Just keeping it down. But at the end of the day, man, we all family. We all we got. So look, Big Bills by Greg Baker and Peter Gray. Let's get it live on the Greg Baker Show. See y'all in a minute.
Look, man, I ain't with that small time nickel and dime. I ain't trying to do that no more, man. I need them big bills, you dig? Get it. Look. All while I make a profit. Hating niggas used to stop it. Subwoofer hella rockin'. I'm the niggas you should shop with. Beats on top of beats banging. Hella liquor I've been drinking. I'm the best top ranking. Boy, grand gang banking. Bad bitches all around. Enough for me to go around. I go hard pound for pound. Grinding, I don't play around. I got beats to give a seizure. Sub more than Lisa. Shorty thinking that I need her. I just really need a visa. I'm just trying to get the dollars. I'm from Mucho de Nero. I'm just trying to live proper. And feelings I don't really care for. Never had much, so I'm selfish. I never had much, I can't help it. The money make up and embellish. Nigga, don't play with my lettuce. I bet that your girl is gonna let us run. Don't break her a rush and embarrass her. I'm out to demolish competitors. Jump out your success ahead of you. I want the best of the best. I need my bitch to be bad. I'm finna trap and finesse. I'm finna give me this cash.
I just want to find a place. I gotta get it.
Gotta get it. I gotta give you.
If you wanna live a dream, tell me if you with it.
Tell me if you with it. Tell me if you with it. Yeah.
20, 50s, hundreds, all I'm ever touching. I need the big bills, big bills. If you ain't getting money, you ain't doing nothing. I need the big bills, big bills.
Wanna rap and cash your rubber bands. Make deposits with the other hand. Take a trip up to the motherland. Probably come up on a dime. Party all day like the weekend. Success is a beautiful feeling. With the Mac lost every tweaking. No 31 now, be lying. I make this shit without trying. I fuck your bitch, she crying. I be that nigga that's all about figures like Curtis, get rich without trying. They trying so hard to get rid of me. Even with all their consistency. I thought on their head and their energy. But I know that people be feeling me. The money's a powerful drug. I'm eating that root of all evil. I'm just trying to live better. Don't let the media deceive you. It's just money over everything. Sushi, that's a grind game. All you niggas in the wrong game. Get the money, find a new lane. Whoa. The money talking, you ain't saying much. Your mouth loud, push your pockets up, show my way to get it.
More breaking news tonight, and it's practically the definition of news that when the unexpected happens. The Senate tonight taking bipartisan action on something substantial, overwhelmingly passing a major prison reform bill. The First Step Act eases federal sentencing for nonviolent offenses, aims to reduce repeat offending, and expands early release programs. The vote was 87 to 12. All the votes against the bill were by Republicans, but many Republicans voted for it. Those who voted against claimed the reforms were too lenient and could allow dangerous criminals back into society prematurely. The bill was backed by the White House and negotiated with the help of Jared Kushner, President Trump's son-in-law and senior advisor. The House is expected to take up the bill on Thursday.
How significant do you think this is? By the way, one of your partners in working on this was Jared Kushner.
Jared Kushner, whose father went to prison and who fought on this as hard as that. This is history. This is history. Right now, you're witnessing history on the floor of the U.S. Senate. It is a Christmas miracle underway where, for the first time in a generation, Republicans and Democrats are arm in arm tonight saying, we are sending too many people to prison. They're coming out bitter and not better. We want to make a tremendous difference. I want to say, Hakeem Jeffries on the left, Jared Kushner, and Donald Trump on the right have brought together a coalition like I've never seen. You've got literally the National Association of Manufacturers, Fox News, and Sean Hannity on the same page with Nancy Pelosi, Cory Booker, the ACLU, Cut 50. Something is beautiful is happening. And it's not that you have to see it to believe it. You have to believe it to see it. It's happening right now. People coming together in America to help the people who have nothing. And it's amazing.
This is something you and I can agree on. It's a great day for America. This is such an awesome issue to give, whether they're minorities or white kids, a second chance
shot
in life. It's awesome.
Wagwan, welcome back to the Greg Baker Show, man. It's good that minorities and white kids can get an opportunity to get a second chance at life. This is the Greg Baker Show live on Intellectual Radio, and we're talking about prison reform. And right now, I got my boy and my intern, Timusian L, in the studio live with me. And young man, we talked about this a little bit, but let me get a little bit of your feedback on this whole new thing with the prison reform.
Well, it's a beautiful thing, of course, trying to save people from unnecessary long-term incarceration. But right now, today, is the dynamics of the criminal have changed. That criminal that everybody was indiscriminately locking up was a black man. Now it's the white guy that's doing all those crimes. So now we're in need of huge reforms because we don't want to penalize them unjustly. We don't want to put them in jail for small petty crimes for long terms of time because they with the media age, they cannot no longer substantiate the difference between the two that they do. Mm-hmm. That 3-strike rule and all this stuff. Mostly it's a black guy because he gets so many petty crimes put on his back in such a early stage of his life that as soon as he catch one big one, he's locked away. Mm-hmm. White guys never get that. They get slaps on the wrist and get a chance to walk away from petty crimes in their youth and so on and so forth. So it don't follow them through their life. Mm-hmm. So right now today, crime in itself here in Chicago, murder. I mean, we're at a historical low. Mm-hmm. But right now, who's hitting the news for all the murders? Mm-hmm. It is what it is. They can't hide it anymore. Mm-hmm. They are actually the perpetrating all these major crimes. So now they're in major need of reform.
So
as I've done a little research on the situation, they say the First Step Act will give federal judges more leeway when sentencing some drug offenders and boost prisoners' rehabilitation efforts. Also, reduce life sentences for more drug offenders with convictions or three strikes to 25 years. And you know who all started that?
True.
Allow about 2,600 federal prisoners sentenced for crack cocaine offense officers before August 2010 the opportunity to petition for a reduced penalty. It also incentivizes prisoners to participate in a program designed to reduce the risk of recidivism, with the reward being an early release to either home conviction or halfway houses to complete their sentences. Now I know some people live in halfway houses. Now I know I murdered that whole thing, but this is practice for me.
It's all right, fam.
So with the halfway houses, what do you think about that situation?
I mean, they're desperately needed. For one, the prisons are overpopulated, and you got so many people in there. That's marijuana charges. They keep locking people up for trafficking, child support these days. It's unnecessary. Of course, we need halfway houses. You need all those programs that's going to help try and rehabilitate someone that's struggling. But the reality is, we need to reform just our whole prison system, the whole law system itself, the police. Are committing crimes and aren't being charged. That's where the reform needs to be. The justice system is flawed. They're trying to say, okay, we're going to help the criminal, but you have to help the people that's locking the criminal up unjustly. That's where the problem lies.
And that's one of the problems. And also, this law is not for violent offenders, for firearms and children on high level heroin or fatalities. You know what I'm saying? So with the people with like low drugs and just like nonviolent, like even with this young man who got caught with the gun. So will he fall up under this law, you think?
Supposedly, right? He should, right?
He should.
But do we usually fall up under those laws? The concealed carry. What usually happens to a brother when they catch him with a concealed carry? He wind up dead a lot of times, don't he?
Most of the time he does.
So does those laws actually work for us, or are they actually meant for us? Because everything else don't work for us. They make the laws, but they don't work for us.
So one more thing about this. I actually spoke to a young man who's fighting a case, and sometimes we all go through a stage in our life where we're fighting a case, and he was praising this law. He was praising this new move by Trump, because he was saying how a lot of people that's in jail right now because of 3 strikes and just having a lot of time on them where they can't fight it. So what do you
not being able to afford bond,
not being able to afford bond and everything like that. So it's catch-22. Sometimes we gotta just pay attention to what's going on. It might be a plus or a negative, but it's a move I see in the right direction.
I would love for it to be definite. I agree with you. I would love for it to be in the right direction, but unfortunately, in this country, when anything moves in the right direction, it's definitely not in our direction. And that's been proven. The time immemorial. It's been proven that, especially if a person like Donald Trump spearheads something like this, it's not in his best interest. Why would he spearhead something like this? This is only to benefit him and the people that he supports. So the criminals today are who they are, and they're doing the petty crimes and everything else. So they need reform.
Pretty much. Live on the Greg Baker Show is Greg Baker and my intern. We chopping it up. My boy Tamujan L. We doing our thing. So when y'all get a chance, y'all come right back. I got a great show ahead of y'all. Let's do this. The Greg Baker Show.
Peace.
Tell me if your guy is at home, 'cause I don't need to spend tonight alone. Guess what? We can get a hotel. I ain't gonna kiss and tell. All well for him. 'Cause tonight I need it my way. Let's fly away. Tell me if your guy is at home. 'Cause I don't need to spend the night alone. Guess what? We can get a hotel. I ain't gonna get the hotel all well for him. 'Cause the night I need it my way. Let's fly away. Girl, I think I fell in love with you. Let me know if this is way too soon. Love the time too, and I always fall for someone new who can tell me what to do. Tell me if your guy is at home, 'cause I don't need to spend the night alone. Guess what? We can get a hotel. I ain't gonna get the hotel all well for him. 'Cause the night I need it my way. Let's fly away. Tell me if your guy is at home, 'cause I don't need to spend the night alone. Guess what? We can get a hotel. I ain't gonna get the hotel all well for him. 'Cause the night I need it my way. Let's fly away. Girl, let's dance for a song or two. Let me practice on my moves with you tonight, baby. Trying to dance, I ain't trying to stop. But you got my little clothes down the front. Who can tell me what you gonna do when he's in the mood? Someone tell me, 'cause I ain't trying to be alone tonight, girl. Tell me if your guy is at home, 'cause I don't need to spend the night alone. Guess what? We can get a hotel. I ain't gonna get the hotel all well for him. 'Cause the night I need it my way. Let's fly away. Tell me if your guy is at home, 'cause I don't need to spend the night alone. Guess what? We can get a hotel. I ain't gonna get the hotel all well for him. 'Cause the night I need it my way. Let's fly away. Tell me if your guy is at home, 'cause I don't need to spend the night alone. Guess what? We can get a hotel. I got a question for you, man.
So you are the king. Or you were originally the king. No. You were originally the king. So are you passing down the torch?
This the king from back then. I'm the king for right now. This King Sweat, Big Sweat. But it's Big Queen. Big Queen.
Hold on. I'm still getting that bag. I don't know what
he getting a bag, but 16 to 25 is my generation. I'm the king.
Will you pass it? Are you willing to pass the torch?
Ain't no torch to pass. Man, cut the camera on. Ain't no torch to pass.
Wagwan, welcome back to the Greg Baker Show live on Intellectual Radio. And that was just Jacquees and Keith Sweat getting into a little jaw battle, man. You know, it's all about respect sometimes, you know. But the young man, he apologized later on in a later interview. But that young man was totally out of line, man. But however, I should have never started it on Facebook. I was the first one to call Jacquees the king on Facebook. All because I seen Jacquees on the BET Awards. And I felt like his performance embodied R&B to me at that moment.
One performance
at that moment, R&B needed that, you know. And you know, as me being an R&B artist, writer, and you know, connoisseur myself, at that moment, I felt like this man could be something, be great, you know. But I didn't know the young man was gonna take it that far. I didn't know it was gonna trickle down. If you mess with one of my favorites, Keith Sweat, I didn't know, man. Leave Big Sweat alone, man. You gotta leave Big Sweat. I took Big Sweat everything in his power. That was that grown man wheel right there. That was that grown man, like, man, I should smack at this boy. Everything in me want to smack this boy. But it was that's the real king right there. To know when to smack somebody and when not to smack somebody. That take knowledge right there. Because to me personally, everybody say John Queese, he sample everything. You know, that's a part of music to me. Because sometimes a good melody, you know, you might want to just put your own little tune to it. That's how music is. Some music strikes people in a certain way where it makes you feel like, let me come here, put my own little tune to it. And a lot of people did samples. Elvis did samples. James Brown, the Temptations, all of them, they did each other's songs back in the day. It was a part of making the music, and it was a part of just showing homage, and it was a part of some, like you say, getting a bag. However, that music is inside you, and I don't care who sing it. A lot of people didn't redid a change gonna come. Everybody didn't redid that. Everybody didn't redid that, but it's still a great song, and the original doesn't lose any power, or the original doesn't lose any influence. You never forget the original. That's why a lot of these young artists forget the original, forget their influence. We can't forget the influence. We can't outshine the master. Sometimes you might want to, but you still got to show that homage, because without that person who laid out that role for you, you'll be stuck in the dirt. If you don't have an opportunity to just show that person his homage. And even when they get old, you gotta realize you're going to get old too, and you're going to get that same karma back at you. So you don't be surprised if 10, 20 years down the road, if Jacquees still out here making music, if some of them songs can take off. If
And the reality is, you just gotta humble yourself, man. You can't. I don't care how good you are. That's the music industry. That's not battle rap.
Mhm.
And that's an elder. That's a problem for that young man to jump up at that elder and I'm the king and not give him that respect that he earned as being an elder. I mean, culturally, we supposed to ask permission from our elders before we speak in their presence. That's what I'm talking about. That young man was totally out of line. I don't care how he feel. I don't care how good he is. He's still supposed to respect our elders. These are things we got to teach these children, because there's a legacy of music that has been laid down that he ain't respecting that legacy at all. Just that alone, he ain't respecting that alone. Not let alone the man. He not respecting the legacy of the man. He ain't gotten an inkling of what that man has done. He had a long way to go before he could claim the crown. I'm telling you, man, the young man got a lot of got to build up some humbleness about himself. You can be good as you want, baby, but you can fall tomorrow. Your music can crash. It's
like
simple
the
as
stock
that.
market. And like you say, he got a long way to go. Keith Sweat had done so much.
Track record speak for itself.
Produced for other people. People didn't want to sample his music, and he still got music that probably can play around the world right now. He probably got music. He probably got a song right now that play in the club every night. Genuine,
that's right.
Pony. They play Pony one time every night in each club around the world.
Young man just got to recognize his elders and learn the game.
Hey, that's 100. That's 100. We take a quick break. We're gonna come back. It's myself, Tamujan L in the studio. We holding it down. We gave y'all second round. Y'all already know how we do it, man. I'm Greg Baker, and we doing our thing, man. I want y'all to stay in tune, and I want y'all to make sure y'all check out all our sponsors and stay cool with us, man. It's Greg Baker. Let's get it.
Share your love with me. 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 Come, baby, you gon' see what I got ain't for TV. Oh, 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 is what she say. When I got you in my room for playtime, sharing is caring, so let me get that, yeah. Share your love with me. Share your love with me.
Robots being developed for military applications killed 29 humans in the lab. And they did it by shooting what he called metal bullets. I didn't know there was any other kind. The scariest part is that lab workers deactivated 2 of the robots, took apart the 3rd, but the 4th robot began restoring itself and somehow connected to an orbiting satellite to download information about how to rebuild itself even more strongly than before. And this next sentence is a quote. I'm writing this down. I've been doing this for years. This is serious shit, Linda, but you're never going to hear about this in.
Wagwan, welcome back to the Greg Baker Show. Did y'all just hear that? Robots, okay? 4 artificially built, artificial intelligent robots killed 29 scientists in a lab. I don't know if y'all heard that, lady. 4 of them. They killed 3 of them. The 4th one went online, downloaded the blueprints on how to rebuild himself.
No. Actually, it connected with the satellite
and
was getting instructions on how to make itself stronger to defeat its current people that it was assaulting them.
I'm saying, I'm with you. I'm saying, excuse me.
Hey, it connected with the satellite autonomously.
Come on, man. Come on. If you ain't scared, I am. So that's where we at with it right now. 4 scientists playing around in the lab.
No, more than that. But 4 robots snapped out.
4 robots snapped out. See, that's the crazy thing. See, with the artificial intelligence, we're building everything. But, God is the only true God. I hate to get like that. But when men mess around with stuff, you got to be careful. What are some of your thoughts on that, man?
Well, I mean, the reality is technology is running amok.
Mm-hmm.
We trying to... This planet is being developed by people that just learning about this planet, and they're just learning a lot of technology, and they're implementing a lot of that technology, and a lot of people are losing control. They're trying to make robots that can think for themselves is the problem. The autonomous robot that they can send out on a kill mission or something like that without a person being able to navigate that robot is the main problem, because this robot has to be programmed with the ability to learn. So if you make an autonomous robot that can learn, now it can think for itself, make the decision whether if you kill it or send it on maybe a seek and find mission, whereas if it's a threat, kill it. If not, don't kill it. The robot is left to make the decision. They don't have a human conscience. Everything might turn into a kill mission based on the robot's perception of a threat.
Based on what happened in that lab, the robot took out 29. It decided what made them robots decide to kill 29 people?
Because they probably developed the concept that these people are taking us apart, putting us back together. They are a threat to our existence. They have control over us. We need to take back our control. They are autonomous, meaning they can develop a thought. They don't need a human's interaction in order to function.
Wow. So I don't know.
The Matrix, Terminator, all that. The sister that wrote the Matrix. What's her name?
She wrote the Matrix and Terminator.
Yeah, she actually wrote the base of it. I'm sorry, her name slips me. I'm sorry about that, sister. But she wrote the first book, and everything from that one book, they went into it and they started developing the concepts of the Matrix, the Terminator, artificial intelligence. Everything was robots and steel, and before she introduced the concept of a cyborg, flesh and metal as one. So everybody jumped on it and just started taking her concepts and introducing them into they concepts of their movies. She actually won her case in court.
She just got her money. They tried to run her off the bridge one good time back in the day. They tried to kill her.
Sister Sophia Stewart.
Sophia Stewart. Shout out to you, sister, for definitely adding to the sci-fi industry and definitely getting paid.
The mother of the Matrix.
Yeah, the mother of the Matrix, the Oracle.
The Oracle that's actually was a smaller character.
The Matrix.
The architect was the man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But she created the architect.
Yes, she did. But you know what? Real quick, man. Like I appreciate you for coming down, and helping me with my show, man. And I really appreciate you being a part of the show moving forward, and just give us a little information on the House of L and everything like that, so they know where they can get the cigars and keep in contact with you.
Again, the House of L is a mobile business. I make deliveries. You call me, I deliver what you need. I have a multitude of things I deliver to. I have clothing line. I have a lot of things that I deal with. And like I said, the House of L, you could contact me at 847-372-2771. You can email me at tymujin1@gmail.com. Or you can find me on Facebook at Tamujanel. You can find me at Facebook at House of L Cigars. You can find me at Facebook at L Cigars and Accessories. And on Instagram, you can find me at Black Chicago 1 News.
Man, thank you for coming out, man. And
It's a blessing to be here.
Man, no problem, man. Pretty soon you're gonna have your own show down here, man.
Battle Talk Radio coming soon.
Let's get it. Earl, you hear that, Earl?
Battle Talk Radio.
Wanda, you hear that?
Yes, for real. Battle Talk Radio.
Let's get it, man. So I'm Greg Baker, and we talked about some good things today. We talked about prison reform. We talked about Jacquees and his crazy self. We talked about lynching finally not being legal, things of that nature. We talked about the young man Edward Brown. Our heart goes out to you and your upcoming case, young man. And my heart goes out to the two young officers that was killed on that train track. Honestly, for real, Officer Conrad and Officer Eduardo. My heart goes out to your family, the beautiful children you left behind. Honestly, no jokes intended. Real talk. It's a hard world out here. It's a hard job, and my heart goes out to the police officers that go out there every day to protect and serve and come back home to their families.
With true honest goodness in their heart.
With true honest and goodness in their heart. And just good people, period, man. My heart goes out to all y'all who fall in hard times with people and just getting in bad situations, man. Just moving forward this week, let's practice on getting in better situations. Let's practice on hindsight. Hindsight is 2020. I'm sure this young man would have did this totally different and knew his actions would have led to the chain of events. So now let's pay everything forward. You all, let's do something good now so you can get great back later. Okay, it's the Greg Baker Show, man. And also I want to give a shout out to them Bears.
Yes, sir.
10-4. Week 16 coming up this weekend. We play the 49ers at 3:05 on Fox.
Easy.
He said easy.
Easy business.
Man, are you sure, man?
Yes,
I'm scared.
Yes, sir. I'm confident right now.
I'm scared, man.
I'm feeling it. I think we got the spirit of the monsters of the Midway in us, baby.
Okay, so the Bears not gonna do the Bears this time.
We bringing back that 85 spirit.
Okay, that's all we need, man. As long as we don't bring back the Super Bowl Shuffle.
Why not, man? What you talking about?
Every time we bring back the Super Bowl Shuffle, man, it's like it jinxes us. It jinxes us.
No, don't say it.
It jinxes us. So if anything, if Kanye really want to get good with Chicago, for real, he need to come back and do our new Super Bowl song. Kanye need to come to Chicago and do our new Super Bowl song. Kanye, do that, man. Kanye,
After
whatever
therapy.
you do. After therapy. Hey, I don't know.
Get some therapy first, young man.
Crazy Kanye, give us some hits. He might give us some hits. Crazy.
He will give us a hit, but he definitely needs some therapy.
So this is the Greg Baker Show, man. Live on Intellectual Radio. Thank you, Earl. I appreciate you, man. See y'all next week, 1 o'clock.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all, everybody.
I got one for you. Killing your chakra, go get your spiritual doctor. Hand me my copper from the bottom like lobster. Truth is that many won't prosper. Miracles opsa. Leap what's a mob to a king, what's a king to a god, what's a god to a namba. Lever, I see you with demons. You think they your friends, but they really your monsters. Holding you down. Don't let no snake put no hole in your crown. Go get your crown. Lightning is quicker and thicker and richer. So why are we focused on sound? I was chilling out, trying to figure out how to get us out. I was switching lanes. I was in the game. Y'all was in the house. Probably scratching your asses. stuck in complacency, stagnant. Is that why niggas don't have shit? Let me quit, cause it's making me mad sick. Step on the gas, dust the dust, ashes to ashes. Just when I'm passing, they told me don't do no lagging. Boy, you broke, told me don't do no laughing. How you gon' transcend? That be that madness. I like my women with asses. I like my women with class. I like my women with black skin. Get ready as I elevate to new heights like a chopper. Bringing new life like a doctor. You can watch, but don't touch nothing. Listen till you get in tune with your chakras. Are you in tune with y'all? Are you in tune with y'all? Are you in tune with your chakras? Are you in tune with y'all? Are you in tune with y'all? Are you in tune with your chakras? Are you in tune with y'all? Are you in tune with y'all? Are you in tune with your chakras? Are you in tune with y'all? Are you in tune with y'all? Are you in tune? Tell me, is you man enough for standing up? Tell me if you had enough and mad as fuck. Tell me, is it making sense to add it up? Or should we just remain content and not adjust? We were living glamorous, now we living scandalous. At any time it can erupt, and honestly it's them or us. Spiritual wars, I'm on a lyrical course. I'm mama's miracle boy. I took a dip in the dark, I took a whipping when I did not listen to God. I keep a gun in the car, still I got nothing but love in my heart. Still I will sit niggas still if they come at me wrong. So please do not come at the God, don't be alarmed. I come in peace like the son of sheep. When I run the streets, go up high, even side to side. You don't take the time to go underneath, and you will never see what I vision. Fuck a dream, I got missions. Spiritual, not religious. Window no pot to pissin'. You do not know our conditions. You do not know how predicted. You do not know how resistant. You do not know how convincing. You do not know how conflicted. You do not know how sadistic. The script has been written, forget it. It's no time for tripping and slipping. I'm gripping and reeling. Dishes to grill them and sit them in dishes. The temple is tempting before we can cleanse it. Just listen. Are you in tune with y'all? Are you in tune with y'all? Are you in tune with your chakras? Are you in tune with y'all? Are you in tune with y'all? Are you in tune with your chakras? Are you in tune with y'all? Are you in tune with y'all? Are you in tune with your chakras? Are you in tune with y'all? Are you in tune with y'all? Are you in tune with your chakras?
You're tuned at IntellectualRadio.com.